Hey, if you're here, don't forget to subscribe to the Curiosity Wiki YouTube channel. Activate the bell to be the first to see the new videos. Today we will present the limits of our survival. How much heat and how much cold can we take? What is the longest we can live without sleep? Let's find out together. How much cold can we take? It all comes down to our core temperature. Unfortunately, the human race is not built for the cold because our bodies are designed to exhaust heat rather than retain it. So, if we stop taking our thermal underwear with us, what temperatures can we withstand? Survivability here refers to protecting body temperature, which is typically around 37 degrees Celsius. There are situations where the body is cold and loses heat faster than it produces it. Then the body temperature may start to drop. If it drops by only 2 degrees Celsius, then hypothermia sets in. Usually it is as follows. At 35 degrees Celsius, you will have chills and pale skin because blood is no longer circulating normally to the extremities. At 30 degrees Celsius, you will fall unconscious. At 25 degrees Celsius, you will go into cardiac arrest. At 24 degrees Celsius, you will most likely die. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule, and this survival story has changed medical history. While skiing, Anna Bagenholm fell through a sheet of ice and was dragged under it by a stream. She was trapped under 20 centimeters of ice for about 80 minutes, which caused her temperature to drop to 13.7 degrees Celsius. Inevitably, she suffered cardiac arrest, but did not die. Before the freezing temperature stopped her heart, the freezing water had already cooled her vital organs, especially her brain, to such an extent that their oxygen demand was significantly reduced, meaning they needed very little oxygen to survive. Bagenholm was clinically dead for more than 2 hours. The low temperature preserved her brain and vital organs before her heart stopped beating and thus delayed the death of his cells. This allowed medical staff to resuscitate her. Not only did Bagenholm recover, but the results of her survival story led to changes in medical practice and introduced the use of therapeutic hypothermia, whereby the body is cooled to mild hypothermia, about 32 degrees Celsius, as a technique to protect patients during open heart surgery, as well as victims of strokes, liver failure, and epileptic seizures. 13.7 degrees Celsius remains the coldest temperature anyone has ever been in and survived. How long can we hold our breath? Most people find it hard to hold their breath for more than a minute, but as a general rule, the limit for most of us is about 3 minutes. However, there is a specific technique where you hold your breath face down in cold water without moving. This method was used by the current record holder, Stefan Mifsud, who achieved an impressive time of 11 minutes and 35 seconds. But has since been surpassed by a confirmed but unofficial record of 11 minutes and 54 seconds by Branko Petrovic. Coming back to temperatures, how much heat can we take? Humans, compared to the cold, are quite well adapted to survive in hot climates. The amount of external heat you can withstand depends very much on individual physiology, exertion and hydration, among other factors. But ultimately, in general, a very humid temperature of 60 degrees Celsius is the limit of our survival. Humidity plays an important role as it slows or stops evaporation of sweat and makes you even warmer. Within 10 minutes of being in this environment, your core temperature could rise to 40 degrees Celsius or more, leading to severe hyperthermia. Your organs will begin to shut down and, if left untreated, you will die. However, the highest body temperature on record was Willie Jones, who was hospitalized during an Atlanta heat wave with a body temperature of 46.5 degrees Celsius. He spent 24 days in hospital and, incredibly, survived. How long can we last without water? This varies dramatically depending on the scenario we are in. If we did a lot of sport on a very hot and sunny day, then you could lose 1.5 liters of water every hour. If you don't rehydrate, your blood volume drops and in turn your blood pressure drops. Your blood then becomes thicker and stickier and will be harder to pump into your body. Your heart rate has to increase to compensate. In fact, you'll stop sweating, making you even hotter as you continue to dehydrate. In this scenario, you will only survive for a few hours. Alternatively, in a cool environment and with very little effort you could last around a week. But as a general rule, under more normal conditions, a person could survive 3 to 4 days without water. Andreas Mihavec's far exceeded this life expectancy when he was accidentally locked in a police cell and forgotten for 18 days. Although there is some controversy surrounding this record, as he is said to have survived by licking condensation off the cell walls. On the other hand, surviving without food is a different matter altogether. How long can we go without food? In this scenario, it actually helps to be obese from the start. A study published in 1973 at a prestigious university's Department of Medicine reports the case of Angus Barbieri, who weighed 207 kilograms. Angus was monitored while dieting to 81.6 kilograms for 382 days. Under medical supervision, Barbieri consumed only zero-calorie drinks and vitamins. Having more pounds helps you survive such a long period without eating, unless you have access to enough B vitamins, which help metabolize fat deposits. Gandhi's 21-day fast is often cited as the standard human survival limit. However, people have been recorded surviving between 46 and 73 days. These cases, among others, were considered when the British Medical Journal reviewed human starvation in 1997. They assumed that survival time for a well-hydrated individual is 30 to 40 days, with severe, possibly irreversible symptoms occurring between 35 and 40 days, and death can occur from day 45. But no matter how much we eat or drink, we cannot live without rest. Sleep seems to have lost its value in today's overworked world. But when we miss too much sleep, it can be very dangerous. Randy Gardner entered the record books by staying awake for 264 hours. That's 11 days. Reports have mainly assumed that Gardner's mental health remained stable throughout the challenge, enough to even beat someone at a pinball game on day 10. However, whoever monitored Gardner throughout the challenge tells a different story altogether. A delusional episode, growing memory gaps, fragmented thinking, more hallucinations, paranoia focused on a radio talk show host who, in Gardner's opinion, was trying to make him look stupid. On the 11th day, Gardner was reported as having expressionless appearance, slurred speech and intonation. He had to be encouraged to speak in order to even manage to respond. His attention span was very short and his mental abilities were impaired. It was concluded that a prolonged amount of insomnia would lead to severe mental symptoms. In fact, the record book no longer lists voluntary sleep deprivation as a record, so as not to encourage further attempts. But challenges to this title have still been recorded, with the longest period reaching an impressive 449 hours, or almost 19 days. Although Gardner was noted to have fully recovered after staying awake, sleep deprivation would eventually prove fatal.